Hello friends, today is the kickoff of Beautylish's fall gift card event. It starts now 12 p.m. Eastern or PT time 9 a.m. and it ends on October 27th, 2:59 a.m. Eastern, 11:59 p.m. Pacific. The gift card event entails with every $100 you spend, you receive a $20 Beautylish gift card in return. In addition, Beautylish will offer specially curated gift sets, exclusive discounts that only happen during the sale event. It's a lot of fun. You have some time to shop around, to build your basket until you click buy. So this is our time to browse, to shop, and for these videos, I like to share recent releases. I have filmed quite a many Beautylish gift card event video, and just to keep it relevant and a little tighter because you know how many favorites I have and I can share, we're going a little more edited. And a huge thank you to Beautylish for sending me some products upon my request, and I'm excited to share a few of these products because they have been on my radar, and to receive them complimentary and share them with you has been tremendously helpful for the budget. Let's start with this product here. I'll go in alphabetical order just because it helps me keep track, since knowing me, I'll forget something. I wanted to try the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Velvet. What a far departure from their liquid matte lipstick, which I often associated with Anastasia Beverly Hills. Any liquid lip anything, I automatically thought ABH. And we have a completely different experience with this lip velvet. It says here a velvety, smooth, weightless liquid lipstick with a blurring soft matte finish. That is exactly what the lip velvet delivers, and I had to try Cool Brown. And as you can see, this is my 90s girl cool brown lip fantasy, and everything that the product description outlined is correct. It is velvety smooth, it is creamy, easy to apply, and the way it dries down, beautifully comfortable on the lips. It doesn't feel tight, it doesn't feel cement-like as their old liquid lipsticks used to feel like. They really upped the ante on this formula and has compelled me to try more shades, but we're sticking with Cool Brown. If you had any qualms about this lip velvet, if you thought it might mimic what you had experienced from other lip products, not so. This texture is almost creamy mousse-like, and the way it settles on the lips, it's almost plush-like with impeccable color payoff as you saw in the demo. So kudos to ABH for improving what I still consider a liquid lip formula, but to call it a velvet, more than appropriate. Excellent product. Chantecaille. I haven't tried Chantecaille in a while. A luxury beauty brand that's very much nature conservation conscious. I have to give it up to their packaging though. And these specific products caught my eye, especially the duo, which I had to get my hands on and try because as simple as they appeared, I love minimalist makeup, and the fact that you just have two eyeshadows in this eye duet just makes it so you don't have to think much about it. You got the metallic shade, you got the matte shade, slap them on, and you're done. I had a hard time choosing out of the three. The burgundy matte with a shimmer, which this is more like a duochrome. It reminds me of the duochrome found in Divine Rose 2, and although the flip is not strong, I do think the texture is beautifully smooth, and these duets are limited edition, but I'm sure you saw the compact. The flower embossing on the compact is stunning, and my goodness, I didn't even want to touch it. And looking at the other shades here, you can't go wrong with the other two, but the burgundy was calling my name and consistent in terms of what I expected. The matte texture is beautifully soft and smooth, easy to pick up and easy to blend on the eyes. I try to do a metallic dominant eye and a matte dominant eye, and I love the hue of the metallic because that burgundy backdrop serves as a nice little smoke to the socket where I can just apply that metallic and the overall eye look appears smoky but with that sheen. If I wanted a little more intensity, then I'll go in with that burgundy matte, which it's not super red, is a little muted, which I absolutely love and carries itself because of that undertone almost as a neutral despite it being a burgundy. I'm happy with this duet, and again, you can't go wrong with the other two. Can't go wrong with brown, but if you just wanted a little more character, just to have a little bit of a break from the neutrals and the khakis, the burgundy my goodness, is stunning. And this lipstick, I didn't want to put on this lipstick family. The lip crystal, my goodness, just look at this bullet. It's like an ornament. It is a lipstick magic wand. Also limited edition, a luminous lipstick that delivers dazzling shimmer without the glitter. I had to go with Pink Topaz, the rose with a metallic finish. Now this looks icy on the lips and appropriate with the highlight I have on. I'll let you know what highlight that is in a minute when we get to the H's. And I'm not accustomed to this finish of the lip, but I had to request this product and see what it delivers, and it's gorgeous. The shine, that metallic high shine finish. I think if you can use it as a layering step perhaps and not wear it on its own, but why not get that dazzle on the lips? But whatever they use, whatever is in this lipstick formula, it does not feel rough and does not feel rocky on the lips, for lack of a better word I can't come up with. It is beautifully smooth, and whatever technology they use to imbue this sparkle effect in the lipstick while having the lips feel smooth is extraordinary. And the other shade that they have, as I'm looking here, Aventurine, it's the raspberry with the metallic finish. That will be stunning as well, but I had to go with the Pink Topaz because I'm a sucker for roses. And their lip veil, specifically from, I want to say the Cheetah collection, but I don't think that's what it's called. Well, it's called the Cheetah Lip Veil. It says here, a revolutionary weightless creamy lipstick enriched with baobab oil for a luminous veil of hydrating color. This is what I consider to be their moisture glaze, but without as much shine as Suku's moisture glaze. This is more of a dedicated balm with a little more color. And of course I had to go with Wild Sienna, the peachy tan with a cream finish. What I have on now, but with ABH's lip veil in cool brown at the edges, just to give a little bit of a smoky bracket. What an impeccable product. I think I've used lip veils before from Chantecaille, and I'm skipping over the packaging. It is just stunning, with one side having that brushed bronze finish, and on the cap you have that beautiful illustration of the cheetah against that gold luminous finish. The packaging is out of this world, but the product itself I am pleased with. Something to throw on throughout the day. If you don't want a heavy lip product, but you want moisture, you want shine, you want that conditioning with that light veil of color, this is the product for you. And they have two other shades, Soft Cinnamon and the Earthy Pink. I was looking at Soft Cinnamon, but I thought it might have been too red leaning. It's hard to make that distinction from the photos, but I went with the peach shade and peachy tan. And it's not super warm. Yes, I combined it with the lip velvet in cool brown, but when I applied it on its own, as you saw in the demo, it had more of a neutral peachy finish to the color on my lips, so I'm very happy with that pick. And again, the texture is sublime. And although I didn't request anything from CHIKUHODO this time, just keep in mind that CHIKUHODO is available on Beautylish, okay? Specifically the Takumi series, I see that they recently dropped their Kyoto Winter Makie collection. I almost requested that, but I held back because I didn't want to overwhelm you with a ton of brush listings. But I have to give it up to their J series, which I spoke about, I believe, for their last, if not the spring one, the fall event for 2023. The J series is their synthetic series. It's one of their most impeccably done synthetic brushes I think CHIKUHODO has ever created, and very much worth a look at, right? If you want to check out my last video or whatever video I have those brushes in, you'll have the timestamps in the description box. I think you should have your eye on those because those sold out for a long time, especially the cheek brush and the foundation brush. My goodness. Danessa Myricks. We have a lot of time to spend on Danessa, as you probably have already figured out, because of her beloved Lightwork VI Freedom Palette, which I have an entire video on, breaking down the swatches, doing the looks. I even featured this in what I believe is in contention for best eyeshadow palette of 2024. And I owe you, I read the comments on that video, I owe you a how to make your Freedom Palette daily friendly video. It's on the queue. I will work on it. But this is something to consider perhaps after the fact, when you receive the $20 after you spent $100 to get $20 $10 knocked off this palette. You spend $200, you get $40 because this palette is $128. The reason being the entire unit is magnetic, where you can remove the mirror and stack the sections on top of each other or single, depending on what you want to bring along. And the individual pans are also magnetic. But the two products that I requested for this gift card video is the Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint and the Yummy Skin Lift and Flex Concealer. I have been wanting to try the tint for a while. I was holding back because I have my Suku foundation, I have my Lisa Eldridge skin tint, but something was telling me this time around that I had the opportunity to try the Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. And if you're not familiar with the Yummy Skin line within Danessa's brand, ever since she released her Blurring Skin Balm, what a revolutionary product that was. Talk about innovation. When I gushed over the Freedom palette, that balm powder is exceptional and more suitable, I believe, for the normal to oily combination part of the skin condition spectrum. The Serum Skin Tint is probably normal to dry. But what I adore about the skin tint, because the minute this product arrived, I slapped it on my face as I was anxious to find out if I picked the right color, and I chose color 9. It's a good match. I have it on now. I do have some Hourglass blush on my cheeks, but I wanted to pull the 9 shade description to let you guys know if you are my skin twin and you were struggling to figure out. It says here light tan with neutral olive undertones. It's a good match for me, and I have to hand it to the brand, as you will see on the product page here on the left, where they try to make it as easy as reasonably possible to figure out your shade match from online by providing references for her other complexion products if you happen to own them. Because I already own the Blurring Balm powder and my range is like 5, 6, 7, I use that to help me figure out what would be my skin tint shade. And because of that, that's why I fell on 9. 9 works out well. It is a skin tint, so the shade matching is flexible. I could probably get away with 8 or 7, but I like the neutral olive. The neutral olive on me doesn't look green. It actually runs, dare I say, a little golden, which I don't mind. I don't mind because it livens up the complexion without me appearing oddly orange, because I love autumn winter, but I don't want my complexion to scream July. You know what I mean? There's no fragrance. The texture is beautifully fluid and a little goes a long way. I applied way too much last night and I applied just a few dots on one side of my face, and it doesn't cover completely, but I think it does a phenomenal job of blurring my imperfections, evening out my skin tone, and also, as I had said before, delivering a little bit of that oomph, that complexion glow up, if you will, a little bit of that warmth. It boosts my complexion in a way that does not appear artificial. And for the Lift and Flex concealer, again, another little bit of a struggle where I was trying to figure out, okay, what color am I in the concealer? And I did choose 9 again, which you can see from the demo. Although the same number, 9 is a touch lighter than the 9 in the serum, right? And that's what I wanted on purpose. I didn't want the same shade to be placed under my eyes. I wanted a little bit of brightening from 9. So rest assured, if you end up purchasing the same number for the serum and the concealer will appear lighter by default, right? I could have gone with 8, but much like the skin tint, I think the shades are pretty flexible. And hopefully you saw the doe foot applicator on the footage, that it has a groove in there where there's a lot of product on that doe foot that can be placed under the eyes, but is not too much. And fantastic doe foot design for that purpose. And the finish for the Yummy Skin Tint compared to the Blurring Balm on me is a natural finish. And I do appreciate that as I run on the drier side, and to have a product that provides a little bit of moisture, a little bit of that skincare treatment that Danessa likes to incorporate into her makeup products, because Danessa is all about skin. And that's what the Yummy Skin line is all about. Sure, it might not deliver the same results as a dedicated skincare product does, but she has plenty more skin leaning care products in her brand, like the balm and the water base and the serum that has a little bit of glow there. She combines everything, but the skin tint, I think, is more of a dedicated yes, makeup product with a high degree of skin care awareness, if you will. A lightweight tint supercharged with ceramides and peptides for a naturally radiant finish. And when you read radiant, you're like, uh-oh, dewy? Doesn't look dewy on me. I think radiant, what that means is that it's not going to look flat and dry. And that is exactly what the Yummy Skin Serum Tint delivers. Hourglass. You probably have already seen. If not, I do have a video looking over all 3 of the holiday palettes from Hourglass for the swatches and applying all the pouches. And I'm not entirely sure if this video will be uploaded before the Beautylish one, but I am working on an Hourglass video with my editing team to dive back in and reinforce just how beautiful these powders are in applying them on bare skin and on skin tint. So hopefully that's coming up if it's not been uploaded already. But I think this year for Hourglass in their holiday palettes has been one of their best because their medium to deep palette actually moved a few notches over the skin tone spectrum, right? Because we have been waiting for Hourglass to release deeper bronzers, deeper blushes. This is their Lotus palette, and they delivered their deepest bronzer yet. Do we still have some way to go? Absolutely. But the reason I bought all 3 was because this was one of the few years where Hourglass featured more than 2 or 3 new powders in each compact. They released 5 new shades and just had 1 existing shade for each palette, and that was appealing to me. And I am the medium tan part of the skin tone spectrum, and they all work on me. I love the Meech for different reasons. The Hourglass palettes are impeccable, so if you are waiting for the Beautylish gift card event to get your hands on one, a few, or all, then this is the time. But there's another H that we have to mention, and that is Hindash. I had my eye on the Hindash highlighter, but I kind of knew that I would possibly work with Beautylish again. If not, I would have bought this down the line 100%. When I saw that Hindash released a new highlighter formula and the way it looked, oh my goodness, I had to get the close-ups here on this pan. Is a gelée formula. Allow me to pull up the product page because my goodness, officially called the gradient highlighter. It comes in 3 shades. I could have done La Luna, but I wanted to try Doll Dynasty. Doll Dynasty, I think, is like the medium part of the spectrum, and it is a champagne with a pink gradient and a satin shimmer finish, a hybrid gel powder highlighter with pearlescent pigments in their purest form to mimic light on the skin. It kind of reminds me of Natasha's Wet Effect, but it's smoother because it is designed to be worn on the face, but not only the face, on the eyes as well, inner corner, brow bone, on the lid. I use my Sonia Keyaki Kakishibu face brush to apply Doll Dynasty on my cheekbones, and whoa, this has a veil-like effect but beautifully soft on the skin, and it does deliver that glass, just high sheen finish without looking too metallic-y on the skin. The way it reflects light is stunning, and I think the photos Hindash had on his Instagram beautifully represented what this product will be in real life, in real time, consistent with my experience of it. Something in me wants to try the 1 shade La Luna, the moonlight shade, but I'm cool with Doll Dynasty. Doll Dynasty is beautiful. I thought it would have been smarter for me to grab the champagne shade. This is an impeccable formula. It does have that gelée type texture, and I would recommend, if you are trying to decide which brush to use, something a little stiffer that will pick up the pigments. Although for a gelée type of formula, the pickup is pretty soft. You might be able to get away with a squirrel brush, albeit on the slightly denser side. I don't know how successful you will be if it's on the more lightweight, light dense side. I think it'll be too floppy, too lightweight to pick up the gradient highlighter texture. But if you stuck with goat, a goat squirrel hybrid, or even a synthetic brush, I think you'll be good to go. But ooh, what a beautiful product. My my goodness, I'm gonna apply more right now, again with my Kakishibu brush. And I'm just being greedy at this point. You don't have to go this hard, but the way it applies and it just finds itself on the skin, and it buffs beautifully as well. So if you applied too much and you have to buff it down, it has a beautiful finish when buffed down into the skin. Definitely, you know, check yourself if you don't want that much shimmer, because look, I'm happy I have blemishes so you can see. It will accentuate texture on the skin if it's raised, but regular old texture that I have going on the everyday basis, it's not too bad. Oh, we've arrived at Natasha Denona. Guess what I have in my eyes? I don't think you'll ever guess. I decided to take a look at her I Need a Nude little kit because I thought it was cute. I thought it was a great stocking stuffer idea. And considering the fact that I have both I Need a Nude and I Need a Warm, I love those palettes. This kit is limited edition, and I like the fact that it comes with the taupe eyeliner. It says a new taupe eyeliner, which I applied on the first eye, and there are 2 creamy mattes and 1 sparkling foiled formula, and the sparkling foiled formula from Natasha is fantastic. It's lightweight but dazzling, has beautiful reflectivity on the lids, and the 2 mattes are straightforward. Let me see here. Vague is the medium warm dusty rose, Muse is the champagne with sparkling foiled finish, Mesh is the light dusty rose. So you're looking at 2 different types of roses. Eye crayon is a taupe, and these are the 2 looks: soft, simple, and a great opportunity for someone to dabble in Natasha Denona and not necessarily invest in her middies, which don't we have a few to go through. I mean, her most recent Roxa palette, that is her holiday palette, limited edition. So this is the opportunity again, as I had described with Danessa's Lightwork VI. You can knock off $20 if you wanted to buy it from Beautylish. And her other releases this year include the I Need a Warm palette, a little more basic for sure, a different color profile than I Need a Nude, and her golden palette, which I adore. When the golden came out, I said that the golden palette for me, for my complexion, was I Need a Nude, but then she came out with I Need a Warm, and I was like, oh boy, it's hard for me to decide now. I love all 3 for different reasons, but I can understand how people feel that last year was more exciting for Natasha Denona because she released Yucca and Xenon alongside I Need a Nude. And Yucca for me, 100% is just one of her best palettes. I mean, I'm in the Northeast and we are in the mist of autumn and the leaves changing colors. And as I look out my window and see Yucca on my computer, Yucca is like the autumn palette. Okay. And remember, Natasha's minis are magnetic and you can take out the pans. If you wanted that to be Yucca, more autumn heavy, you'll take out one of the khaki colors and put in one of the wines and the burgundies from her other minis. And if you wanted Russia to be a little more mauve leaning, cool leaning, you could pull from retro, you could pull from love, and there's a lot of swaps you can do. And that's what I demonstrated in my Roxa swap video that you could check out just to get some more ideas. As usual, I think Natasha has had a solid year. I understand how some would argue that last year was better, but I've been waiting for a reiteration of Lila. And the reason being is because I wanted to see Lila shades with Natasha's newer formulas, with the wet effects, with the sparkling foiled. And in this case, we have a new matte formula, the Slip Matte, which for purples is impeccable because it bumps up the color intensity without sacrificing the texture. Just exceptional. Well done. And we've arrived as Sonia G. 2023 and 2024 have blurred, but trying to remember what released, definitely her Traditions series Select 2024 set is just extraordinary because of the different natural hairs in that collection. That set covers a wide range of eye tasks and I think exceptional for lid texture that you need a softer bristle, but you also want something that's going to blend the product, that's going to pick up the product. So I would consider the Traditions series, but I have to highlight her Keyaki Kakishibu face set, the trio with this beautiful wand of a brush. You just can't go wrong with this set. The fact that you have 3 brushes, albeit 2 of the sizes are similar, I think they cover a wide variety of tasks. And if you want to see each of these brushes in action, I have a dedicated video covering the entire set aesthetically, from the handle all the way to the dyed bristles. You just see this and you're like, I want that on my face. And exceptional with the Hourglass powders, exceptional with the Hindash highlighter. They're soft, but they're not too floppy, and they're also are not too dense, right where they need to be for great pickup, beautiful blending on the skin that leaves behind a polished finish. I've been reaching for these brushes ever since I received them complimentary as a gift from Sonia and the Beautylish team. Thank you again so much. I would definitely have my eye on these brushes, and they're a higher ticket item. Perhaps you would consider buying these after you get your Beautylish gift card money, depending on how much you spend. But that is my #1 pick from Sonia this year. That face set, my goodness. Viseart, you know how I feel about Viseart. And when I saw their VISEpro, I was like, what is that? It appears to be, I think, well, let me pull up the product description so I don't get this wrong. Iconic eyeshadows are back with the Viseart VISEpro Cool Matte Palette, housed in the luxurious new VISEpro palette packaging. I see. Perhaps this is a departure from their original Pro packaging. So this is the Cool Mattes 2. I requested Cool Mattes #1, the original Cool Mattes original, excuse me, because I don't have that palette. I don't think I even have it in the edit. This packaging is recyclable, biodegradable, and eco-friendly. The new patented VISEpro palette features a plastic-free easel folio cover with a removable modular compact console and interchangeable magnetic pans. Okay, I got it. I figured it out. Thank you, Viseart, for having the video for a demonstration, because I'm stupid. So this is the new compact, but the entire base is magnetic, so you can actually take this out, and the pans, the individual ones, are magnetic as well. You could bend the base at these creases, have it back here, and then set it up like so, and this is magnetic as well. So this is how it will stand up on your workstation, right? I think that's clever. And of course you could just close it as is. There's probably another function maybe that I'm missing, right? But however you want to go about it, right? You could fold it back, you could take this out. Again, this is my favorite part. You pop it up, put it into that groove, and there you go. So this, I believe, is supposed to replace this palette format, which is great because I think they replaced a lot of their Pro palettes. Again, I have the Cool Matte Original in 07. Listen, if you are a cool matte lover, and actually because of these shades, if you want to refer back to my Make Our Own Makeup by Mario Moonlight Etherealized palette, this blue right here, I feel when mixed with this gray can give you that blue in that Mario palette. But something about Viseart mattes that I have gushed over year after year is that their color science is exceptional, where because the pigments that they use and how they are formulated, you can mix and match whatever matte you want and just have a different color. It's not going to turn out dull or muddy at all, and that is just the magic behind Viseart mattes. And truly, despite how much makeup I have, I'm trying to cut down on a lot, but if you want to invest on one of the best mattes in the market and have a wide range of different shades and undertones, just get the Viseart matte. You will not be disappointed. Even their purples are beautiful. They're not super dry. And although this swatches poorly on the arm, you're like, what is that? Excuse me. When you blend this on the eyes, because in the end, that's all that matters. How does it perform on the lids? When you apply these mattes on the lids, be prepared to be mind blown. The ease of pickup and blend, how smooth it looks, and the fact that you can mix this purple with this gray, with this blue gray, with this lavender, whatever you want to do, you'll just get a different color or just a lovely gradient from crease to brow bone. It doesn't matter how you approach it. Viseart mattes are goated. And as you see here, you got the warm matte, you got the editorial brights, you have the cool mattes original, which I just showed, you have the cool mattes too, and you got the dark mattes. That's all you need, because if you want a different matte that does not exist amongst these 5 palettes, you can make it. You can make it with any of the shadows that are existing in the VISEpro now family. And I'm happy they updated their packaging. It's lighter, but still has the magnetic capabilities. You can still swap any shadow pans as you like. Exceptional. Bravo to Viseart again. And now we have arrived to our last product, and that is the Wayne Goss synthetic brushes. I only requested 2. I didn't want to go ham and request an entire set of either the face or the eye brushes. I just picked shapes that I thought would align with the products that I have already, and I chose the number 2 cheek brush and the number 7 eyeshadow brush. And I'm not crazy about the ferrule crimp that looks like a bullseye. I could see how Wayne wanted to go a different route with the crimp design. Specifically, this is from the White Gold collection, his synthetic brush release, and the handle is quite light. I don't know if I've ever felt a handle this light, and I guess for someone who doesn't want a heavy brush, that is an advantage. The thing is, however, these are synthetic, but I'm not entirely sure if these are made in Japan, but the synthetic fibers do feel like fibers I have felt from other synthetic Japanese made brushes in my collection. I just can't confirm the origin. The reason why I chose the number 2 is because of this wedge design, and I did use it to apply my serum tint just to see how it would fare as a complexion brush, but it's a little too flimsy, which that makes sense because it is a cheek brush, and I think more suitable to pounce on powder here on the cheeks and also brush through bronzer or even pounce in bronzer because of the slant. You could get nicely in the hollows there. Medium size that will move product quickly around the face, and you could also use this to buff, right? If you wanted to take one of the Hourglass powders and buff it around. The synthetic fibers are soft, although I still prefer a natural brush because something about synthetic fibers, they don't have the same fluidity of movement as natural brushes do, and that's just something you have to feel for yourself, but it's almost as if it's missing a part of the circle. I can't quite place it. And now for the eyeshadow brush, I chose the number 7. It is the hooded eye brush, and again, what was appealing about it was the slant here in the brush design, and I used this brush, as you saw in the Natasha Denona demo, to apply the matte on one eye with the light rose and the medium rose on the other. And it's a big enough brush to cover the entire outer lid and also to bring some shadow through the crease. So I would consider this to be a one and done brush, but I also wanted to experiment to see how it would fare as a blender brush for my concealer. So as you saw, I used that brush to apply the Danessa Lift and Fix concealer, and like the sentiments I expressed about the cheek brush, because it's meant to be an eyeshadow brush, it's not supposed to be dense, right? So it's going to have a little more movement and not enough of that density that I look for when applying my complexion products. But again, that's not what the brush is meant to be used for. However, because it is synthetic, you can use it with creams, liquids, as well as powders, and it is a little more resilient against more frequent washing because it is made out of synthetic fibers. For the most part, however, I would use the number 7 for one and done shades, especially for cream product. I'm thinking the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize, or even some shadows from the Danessa palette, right? To just get that duochrome, multichrome, whatever, all over the lid, and then use the tip of the brush to then blend the edges. So this is decent. I'm just not crazy about the brush design. I don't know what it is when it comes to white and gold. I just think it's too out there for me in terms of design. The brush performance is great. I just would have changed a few elements of the handle, or maybe I would have kept the white handle and would have gone either with a silver ferrule, but they're all right. They're all right. Would I have purchased the entire thing? Probably not, because again, I am quite happy with the other brushes that I have, and I can recognize how the other face shapes are appealing as I'm looking at them here. I could come up with several tasks for each of these brushes, but again, slanted cheek brushes always catch my eye. I had my eye on that flat top brush, but then I read a review on it and someone wasn't crazy about it. That's just one review. I could have loved it, but I thought that the cheek brush was a little more versatile, simply because if I had insisted, even if I needed a little more density from that brush for my complexion tasks, I could very much still use it with my serum skin tint and use it with my powder blushes or whatnot, even my gelée types of textures, right? I could find a use for it for several products. And the other products like that fan brush, I rarely use fan brushes to begin with, so that was a no. The other slanted brush, yes, and the cheek brush that's flat on both sides, the flat round, for sure. For the eye brushes, there are several shapes in here. Wow, he has a ton. That medium shader looks appealing, but again, if I had to pick one, I wanted to choose what I thought was the most unique out of the entire collection, and without a doubt I thought that was the 7 with this slant here and nice movability and flexibility with the brush. This is quite large, so if you have smaller eyes, you probably will opt for one of the smaller shapes out of his white gold eye brush set. But if you have around my eye shape and are looking for a one and done brush that's synthetic, that can lay down your lid color as well as apply and blend your crease color, then 7 will do that for you. And that is it. Those are my picks for the current Beautylish fall gift card event. I'm excited to share my recommendations with you, and a huge thank you again to the Beautylish team for inviting me to participate in this event, in sharing my recommendations and also sharing the products I had on my wish list and had the opportunity to try them and deliver my thoughts on them. Let me know what you have your eye on, what you've already purchased already, what you already got in the basket. I would love to know down below. And if you made it this far, please consider liking this video and subscribing, because I don't just stop at new releases. I like to revisit them to see how they're going, if my opinion has changed about them, and you will only know if you subscribe, so you receive those notifications. So hopefully you decide to do so, and I will see you on here again soon.